Today I'm going to show you how you can make a bracelet using either yarn, embroidery floss or embroidery thread, or even lanyard. Okay? The process will be the same no matter what material you're going to use. I'll show you what the final product looks like if you're using embroidery thread. This was two-toned. I made a bracelet for myself and you could just pop it on. Okay? Today we're going to be using the yarn. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut 2 lengths of yarn. For this particular brand of bracelet, it's better if you have 2 different colors. This is blue and this is gray, so that you can see the 2 color variations like you can in the brown and the yellow in this bracelet. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut 2 lengths of yarn, or 2 lengths of lanyard, or 2 lengths of the embroidery thread. I measured out 48 inches because I am thinking that I might want to make a necklace. You don't have to do it that long. Basically, you want to make sure that you have at least 24 to 30 inches because you're going to use a lot making the design. So once you have your 2 lengths of yarn or whatever material you're going to use, first thing you want to do is you want to look at your wrist, or the wrist that you're going to be making for, and you want to make sure that you have a length that you can wrap around your wrist at least twice. Okay? And then the rest is going to be much longer. The reason why you want one side to be longer than the other is because the side that we're going to be using is going to use up a lot more thread than the side that's going to stay still. And that'll be clear as to what I mean in a moment. So once you have your 2 pieces or 2 lengths, the shorter length and the much longer length, you're going to make a hoop out of where they meet. And then you're just going to make a knot where there is a hoop or a loop at the end of it. And you want to make sure that the loop is not too big, because you want to basically be able to put a knot in between it and have that be the closure. So here I have a very little loop, you see right there. And now I'm going to take some tape. I'm using masking tape, but you could use any other kind of tape. If you use Scotch tape, I would say about 3 inches, because masking tape is a stronger tape. I don't have to use as much. And I'm basically going to take the tape and tape the tip or the loop of my bracelet down on the table. Okay. Now I'm going to find the 2 shorter sticks and put them in the middle, and then take one color and put it on one side of the 2 shorter lengths and one on the other side. So basically it'll look like 4 strips of yarn, 1 on one side, 2 in the middle, 1 on the other. So in order to do this weaving process, 2 things you have to remember. You have to remember 4 and you have to remember 2. You have to remember 4 and you have to remember 2. Okay? You're going to take the first piece of string that's off to the side. You're going to use the strings in the center, the 2 in the center, and the one that you just grabbed to make a 4. So I'm going to take my index finger, bend it, the string, bring it across the 2 lines, and now I have the number 4. Does everybody see that? Great. I pick up the 2 strings in the middle, and I take my hand and go through the opening of the 4, and I pull my string through and up. Not super tight, but also not loose. I'm now going to do it again, because remember, what's important? 4 and 2. We just used the 4 and we're going to do it 2 times. I make a 4 using my index finger, come through, pull it up through the center of the 4 and all the way up to the top. I leave my color back to the side. I now take the color, the second color that's on the other side of the 2 strings on the right side, and I make a 4 with that as well. I'm using my index finger. We have our backwards 4. I lift up the 2 strings in the middle and I pull the string, the end of the string into the 4 and up. Not super tight, but also not super loose. Again, I make my 4 shape. I pull up my string and I keep going. And as you do it more and more, you'll get faster and faster. You'll be able to do it while you are watching TV. And remember, backwards 4, 2 times. Everything you're doing it 2 times. And when you're done, you can begin to see the alternating pattern of color, blue, gray, blue, gray, blue, gray, that will continue on. I'm going to show you now, even though this is not completed, I'm going to show you now what it looks like when you finish it off. So let's pretend that I had done a lot more of this and this was a full bracelet like this one, okay? When I get to the end or the length that I want my bracelet to be, I then tie a knot. Okay, and then I want to tie another knot right over the knot that I just made. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to make sure that the knot at the end is super big, because that's going to be what goes into my hole or my loop that I made initially. So you can see right there I have a pretty big knot, but I'm actually going to knot it over it one more time just to make sure. And I'm going to pull it, oops. If you pull it too tight at first, you can just put it, open it back up and put it right back over the knot. And then pull it tight again. All right, then you can take your scissors, cut off the excess. I like to use a little liquid glue sometimes to make sure that knot's not going to go anywhere. And when you're done, now that you have your big knot and you have your little loop, you're going to just take your knot, put it through the loop, and that will close your bracelet. For this one that I did on with the embroidery thread, again, I made a big knot. And I am going to put the knot through the little loop. Closing the bracelet. So there you go. That's how you make a basic bracelet concept using braiding or weaving, using yarn, embroidery thread, or even lanyard.